Thank you, Pat. The talk continues right here on the Morning Scramble. Thank you so much for being our audience. We always welcome you and love having you as our audience. Thank you so very much. AZTV, of course, is where you find the Morning Scramble. The excitement always starts at 8 o'clock. In the past 2 months, you've heard me refer to Brooke. She's a member of the crew. She has interned for us right here at AZTV for 2 months. Now I'm delighted to have her as my co-host, and you can see how beautiful she is because she's been behind the camera for 2 months. Brooke, welcome. Thanks for being my co-host today. Brooke, of course, has interned, like I said, for 2 months at AZTV. The reason being is broadcasting's in your future.
It is. I'm majoring currently in broadcast journalism. I'm hoping to either be a reporter or like for E-News.
We're getting an echo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or either be a host of my own show would be wonderful eventually.
Now you have chosen ASU.
Yes, I chose ASU because they have the Walter Cronkite program, and it's top 2 in the nation for broadcast journalism specifically.
Yes, it is.
And it's been wonderful. I've already gotten experience prior to being here in a set room using cameras and everything.
So they've given you some hands-on prior to this?
Yeah.
And prior to your classes?
It was actually one of my classes. It was like a fake newscast, and we all had floor directors, we had fake anchors.
No wonder you did so well on our crew.
But yeah, that was a great first hands-on experience for me.
Brooke, I have a chance, while I have Brooke on the set here with me, of course she looks 19. She's probably a little older than that. She looks about 16, really. We're going to talk about her peers and her generation. I want to talk about technology and her thoughts on this. You hear me daily chastise technology, and I seem to chastise the young people. I'm always kind of singling them out. It's older people also. Technology is taking over our world. Do you see, as a young person going to college, this is your future. Technology is your future.
It definitely is.
Can we balance this? What are you seeing? What do you hear from your peers?
I don't know if you can balance it. I mean, technology is going to keep advancing, and the younger generation is going to keep catching up with it. I mean, I would be so lost.
That's why we die. We die so you can catch up. Go ahead.
But I mean, if you're willing to learn, to learn the new technology, you'd be set. But it's just a matter of taking that extra time to catch up, I guess.
As a young person also, I want to talk about Hollywood. Do you think that young people emulate what we see in Hollywood? Is it a negative influence, positive influence? Who do you watch? What do you watch? How do you differentiate between that?
I'm not a big follower of stars and famous people. I don't know what the latest of what's going on. But I do feel like younger people, really younger kids, not my generation necessarily, but do look up to Justin Bieber for some reason and other people like that.
And he cussed for 12 hours on an well, I don't know, I think it was from Australia to the States. He was cursing on that entire flight, and he had to be told by some passengers to cool it. So to my point, and to our point that we're making, those are not necessarily the people that young people should emulate. When we come back, we're going to talk about green model. Does green work for you? We will find out if green is in your future. Also, we're going to talk about raising chickens. Has nothing to do with Food Inc. Not at all like you saw in Food Inc. Followed by Prescott Film Festival. All that on the Morning Scramble. You stay right here with us. Chamberlain visiting with us here in the studio, General Manager of Green Model. And speaking of Green Model, of course, and speaking of Brooke's generation, she is growing up in that generation, and as she becomes our age, this will be commonplace. This will be status quo. This will be what we will be talking about. Eli, Green Model, give us an overview of Green Model. You are the General Manager.
Yeah, so we're an energy efficiency company. We do energy audits on homes to try to figure out where homes are losing energy and what's the most cost-effective ways to fix those houses. So we come in and do a bunch of diagnostic tests on your house. Things like a blower door test, which tests for air leaks within the house to see how leaky the house is. We check for leaks in the duct system as well. Typically houses have really leaky duct systems, and if you have your ducts that are running through your attic or in a crawl space.
In order?
Yeah, ducts in order.
Okay.
If they're leaking, then it can be a huge waste of energy and waste of money, and it can also contribute to comfort issues in the house as well. So things like hot rooms or cold rooms. those kind of things.
Interesting. Okay, now people would come to you because, number one, we all want to save money.
Right, exactly, yeah. So we have a number of reasons why people call us. The main one is to save money. People have really high bills, high air conditioning bills during the summertime and high heating bills during the wintertime. But they also call because of comfort issues. So, they have that uncomfortable room that they really like, but during the summer it's just way too hot to be in that room. And then during the wintertime it's way too cold. And when you have a room in your house that you can't use, it's kind of pointless.
So how much does a house audit cost?
So the audits are $99. They're partially sponsored through the utility company, so that's why they're only $99. And we do all those tests that I was explaining to you. We also do an energy modeling report of the home to figure out how much savings you could expect from the recommendations that we give. And we have a promotion going right now with a $99 energy audit. We'll give you a $50 Home Depot gift card.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Talking about saving money, we always like that. Walking through the process now, when you visit a home, when someone engages you for your services, walking through the home, I mean, you traverse the whole entire home.
Right.
You seek out problems. You listen to the homeowner because they probably know a little bit of what's happening here.
Right, exactly. Yeah, our first thing that we do is really try to get an idea from the homeowner of how their house operates and
what
the
problems
issues
they're
that,
seeing.
Yeah, the issues that they're experiencing. Whether it's a cold room or maybe they have just really high bills or whatever it might be. They're obviously a lot more familiar with the house than we are, so we really try to get a good interview of how their house is working. And then we go in and get into the dirty parts of the house. So we crawl through attics and crawl spaces and all those spots that nobody ever wants to journey into.
Do you guys run into many problems when you're in these
Yeah,
houses?
you'd be surprised. We run into all sorts of problems. Some of the crazier things we've seen is where a raccoon had got into, ripped open a part of the duct system,
Really?
and it was completely disconnected underneath the house. And and animals love warm areas,
Oh, yeah.
so if
Oh,
they
yeah.
can find a spot, underneath the house.
So
or an
you're
attic,
crawling under the house, you're looking at the duct system. What
Right.
about the duct system? We've heard horror stories about cleaning out duct systems.
Yeah, we see all sorts of issues, but yeah, we crawl through those spots and inspect for leaks and things like that, or improper insulation, inadequate insulation. A lot of times we'll run into houses that are under insulated when they were built, or just insulated incorrectly. They may have a lot of insulation there, but it's not installed correctly, and if it's not installed correctly, it's not really doing its job.
Pretty much in Phoenix, you would be dealing pretty much with cooling issues, not isolated to.
Right.
And in northern Arizona, you would be dealing with more heating
Correct.
issues, but
Yep.
then again, not isolated to that either.
Right, and they're even though they are different, different seasons and heating and cooling, a lot of the things we do help with both. So it's very similar problems we run into, down in the valley versus, in Flagstaff, for instance, or in Prescott. So even though they have different climates, we still run into a lot of the same problems.
Do you guys deal with more than just heating and cooling? Like,
yeah, we,
appliances?
our main concern is the customer's concern, which is, high bills and comfort issues,
Right,
those kind of
right,
things. Yeah, but there's a lot of things that affect your house. Like for instance, down in the valley, a lot of houses get a lot of heat coming into their house during the summertime through their windows, and things like shade screens on the outside of the windows can really help conserve energy and make your house more comfortable.
Now,
So-
after you're there and you survey and assess the situation, what then actually do you do?
So what we'll do is we'll give a list of recommendations and an estimate for the work. We do all the work as well, and then we take all the information that we get and we put it into our energy modeling program, which will.
I bet
give
it's a
us
computer.
It's a computer, yeah. So technology again. So it'll give us an idea of what the energy savings might be for any of the improvements that we're recommending. So you'll save X number of dollars a year for sealing up your duct system, for instance.
And it looks like rebates are available?
Yeah, there's rebates available from the local utility company, so they'll pay up to 75% of the cost to have a lot of the work done. So it ends up being very cost effective for customers, and a lot of times people are scared that when I come into their house, I'm going to tell them that they need new windows and I have to spend $10,000 on new windows. Well,
Yeah,
windows can
just
save
level
you.
this sucker and start over.
Well, windows can save you a lot of money, but usually there's a lot more cost-effective options out there to make houses more energy efficient, and you can spend a fraction of that cost and save just as much or more energy doing other things.
And if someone wants an energy upgrade, who would do that?
So we do all the work.
do
We
that
have our
too.
own crews that do all the work. Yep, and we take care of all the rebates. All it is just a signature that we need, and so it's a real painless process.
Now, physical locations, we're talking Phoenix and Northern Arizona when we
Yes,
were speaking in general terms.
Yep.
But let's talk about physical locations. Brick and mortar.
So we have an
Offices.
office in Phoenix, which serves the Valley metro area, and then we have an office in Flagstaff, which serves all of northern Arizona. So Prescott, Winslow, Flagstaff, obviously. So anywhere north of the valley.
We have on the screen again the free promotional offer. Let's go through that so people are aware.
Right. So yeah. So with a $99 energy audit, and I explained all the process there. When we come out to do the energy audit, we'll bring you a $50 Home Depot gift card for the first 20 callers. So call and we can get you scheduled.
Excellent. I want to be number one.
All right.
But I guess I can't be since you're on the show. We hope that you
I'll
call.
pencil you in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Website's
you.
on the screen. If you want to know more, please log on to their website. We did, and they do have a nice website, so you will find out how you can, what you can do with an extra $1,000 a year if you save on your energy costs. Money Radio 1510 brings you the Money Minute when we come back right here on the Morning Scramble. Joining us now is Jeff Wasowitz, and he has his friend with him. And if that name sounds familiar, and if you think that Brooke and Jeff are related, you're correct, they are related. Jeff, of course, is Brooke's father, and he raises chickens, and they're just Brooke's favorite thing in the world.
I love chickens, not at all. I don't think they're cute. I think they're kind of gross, actually. And they always follow me around when I'm in the pen.
And peck at you?
Sometimes. It's happened before. I
The
don't go there
look
very
on Brooke's
often.
face, when Jeff sat down and I said, and his name is, and he told me, and Brooke says, he's named them all. And the look on her face was, okay.
One even's named after Brooke, so she can't complain too much.
Oh, okay. Or complain. I don't know which of that would be. Who do we have with us?
This is Susan.
Susan.
She's a barred Plymouth Rock, about 3 years old, and she's actually the first chicken I ever got.
Susan is very docile. I have to, is it because you're holding her? Or?
No, it's the different breeds. There's hundreds of different breeds, and each breed has a inherent personality, kind of like dogs. Some would be more hyper, some would be more calm.
Really?
Yeah, barred Plymouth Rocks in general are very calm breeds.
This is probably about the closest I think I've ever, in my
Been to a chicken?
number of years, really been to a chicken.
It's as close as anyone really wants to get to them, I think.
Okay, moving on. Fane Signature Group by day, chicken farmer by night, as to your own words. Okay. Now, anyone can raise chickens. This is the point here, and this is what you do tell people.
Yeah,
The question is, why do we want to?
You want to because you've had a couple guests on the show that are talking about the industrial farming, the conditions that chickens are kept in, and where your eggs come from, where your food comes from. Once upon a time, not too long ago, most everyone had chickens in their backyard.
Yeah.
And I think everyone can remember, maybe not Brooke's generation, but can remember their grandmother or father had eggs, the neighbor had eggs. Everyone was getting fresh food from right down the street. They knew exactly where it came from, no question. Now, you don't know where your things are coming from. You hear all these horror stories in the news about animal abuse or salmonella, and it's just nice to know. I know exactly where the eggs came from because I just walked out and grabbed them. I know what my chickens were fed, and they're really entertaining. It's a fun hobby, and they don't take up much space. There's just no reason not to have chickens. Everyone should have some chickens in their backyard.
Contrary to, of course, what we saw in Food Inc., which is widespread now, this is not the way people who raise their own chickens treat their chickens.
No, the people I know, and I've got took some shots of some local coops that maybe they'll be showing on the screen. They can get out. The chickens love to scratch around outside and look for seeds and hunt for bugs. Takes in a 4x8 space, you could easily accommodate 4 chickens, which would provide you about almost 3 eggs a day.
Does
When
Dad
would-
make you clean the?
Oh no, I don't. I don't do anything with the chickens whatsoever. When they go out of town, I will not get the eggs. I will not feed them. I don't.
I think this tradition is going to die with Brooke. I have a sense here, Joe.
But you mentioned cleaning. There is no cleaning. If you set the coop up right with the old-fashioned deep litter method, these
Really?
guys will, as they go to the bathroom, they're constantly scratching. They till the manure right
Really?
in. It composts, and you're making
They're
dirt.
clean little suckers, aren't
They're
they?
very clean. Once a year, I clean out my coop just to take the stuff and put it on the to top dress my garden.
What are we looking at?
That's a coop I built at my house. That's a little 4x8 thing painted by Brooke, by the way. There's a I've
Good
got
job,
a
Brooke.
That's
rooster and
my
a-
one contribution to the chickens is I can paint the coop.
She did agree to paint, and that's how I can control breeding. This is my coop, my main coop here that I have. I've got about 16 chickens right now, and it's an indoor-outdoor area.
I was going to say that has an area effect.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not all enclosed.
no.
Oh no, they roam free. They
They
Really?
can even fly out. This is my friend's coop to show you don't have to have a big flat area. He lives by Thumb Butte, and it's on the side of a hill, falling off steeply. And they take up no space. There's just no reason not to have chickens.
Okay, I think you'll probably convince. Oh dear! I'm so glad they're not full of something. Little ones here and different colors means what?
The different colors are determined by the breeds of the chicken. Some people say, well, it depends what you feed them. It doesn't. The color egg a chicken will lay is actually, you can tell by the color of its earlobe.
so on Susan.
This thing, you put right over here on the side, right there. If it's red, she's going to lay brown eggs. If it's white, she's going to lay white eggs.
Really?
Then that's determined by breed.
What about the blue eggs?
The blue eggs are a South American breed. They're called Americanas, or Aracanas is the base breed. And they lay these green-blue eggs. They're called Easter eggers because people use them when
Well,
you
they're
don't need
really
to dye
pretty.
them.
You know what? If you had chickens laying all these, you wouldn't have to color for Easter.
No,
I mean, they're already
there's all the different
colored for
sizes.
you.
This is
That's a big egg.
yeah, come in all different sizes. The dark ones are a Dutch breed called Wild Summers, and it's just really interesting, at least to me, to learn about them and where they come from. And most of the chickens, again, were developed by just some farmer. The barred Plymouth Rock is from Plymouth Rock, Massachusetts. That's where the Rhode Island Red is developed right in Rhode Island. Some of the breeds you may have heard of. And they're just regular people doing breeding.
So you mentioned that you can get about 3 eggs per chicken.
If you had 4 chickens, you get about 3 eggs a day.
Okay, and when do they actually start laying? Because I know they don't at first.
It takes about till they're 5 months old. At about 5 weeks, the little chicks are born with a down. At about 5 weeks, they're feathered out enough you can put them outside. Even here in Prescott in the winter, at 5 weeks old, they're fine outside, but it takes about 5 months for them to start laying.
Aw,
And then they'll lay,
they're
like
so cute when they're little.
yeah.
That's the only time they're cute. I will touch them when they're like fuzzy.
Yeah, Brooke likes them fuzzy.
Your family raised chickens. How did this hobby? This
Not at
one
all.
feels like there might be something in it.
Yeah, that one I didn't tap out and blow out.
Okay,
But an egg is porous, and all the moisture evaporates out
Okay.
because the chick's got to breathe.
That's good.
When he's developing.
That's
right
good.
there. No, I
Okay.
was born in Detroit, Michigan. Never saw a farm, never nothing, but read an interesting book called Omnivore's Dilemma, and they talked about
right. Yes. Go ahead.
farmer Joe Salatin, and he kind of explained how the whole circle of life type thing, but the chain.
food
of
chain.
Yeah, the food chain works, and that inspired me to get chickens. I had no experience, no knowledge, just went out and did it. Got some books.
Books. That's what. Yeah, I think Brooke was going to ask that also. If people want to know,
So what book did you read the most that helped you? This one?
That.
Raising
This,
chickens?
Story's Guide to Raising Chickens is kind of the Bible. There's also a Raising Chickens for Dummies, which is excellent. I've lent it out, otherwise I would have brought it. But it's very, very easy. You really cannot mess it up. The chickens are very resourceful. They'll cope with whatever you come up with.
okay. Can people call you if they have questions?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. You can reach me at Fane's Signature Group if you look up that number, or I don't know if he's going to put my cell number up.
5789 is up there.
Yeah, 925. Yeah, that's my cell number right there. Happy to call with questions. Olson's Grain is a good source of information. Cal Ranch. There's books. The internet.
Can I pet her?
Oh, sure.
Oh, shit.
It's gonna bite you, Tonya.
Oh, Brooke, they're really kind of nice.
They're not.
Very soft, and each feather, each
Well, they're so pitiful looking. There's kind of a pathetic look. They're so they just kind of.
they're not the smartest animals, I'll grant you that.
Probably not. Maybe that gives them that look.
Maybe.
You know, after learning all this, yeah, that's water in there, and if you drink it, I won't, but that's okay, sweetheart. After learning all this, I think I have a little egg on my face because I learned a lot, and it's very intriguing. I don't know if I'm going to rush out and raise chickens, but...
Yeah, baby chicks cost $2 a piece. Your upfront cost is almost nothing. You can travel around construction sites, find scrap wood. The chickens don't care. You don't have to spend hardly anything to get going in this hobby, and you'll have fresh eggs every single morning.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You'll see him later after the show.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, right. And she will not be cleaning the chicken coops. Yes,
Definitely
no. When we return, Prescott Film Festival is the topic, more reel to reel. You stay right there. Christina McCandless is with us, and she is she's not from Zimbabwe to Santa Fe. That's the name of her film. And I was asking her if she's going to rush out and raise chickens. You said your husband wanted to, but you kind of decided no.
It's a commitment. It's like having children. And I don't have any children. I didn't want any children, so I'm certainly not going to get.
So you don't want chickens. No. You know, we were saying after your father left the set that to be a dumb animal, and forgive me chickens, but for being a dumb animal, their head is always moving. They're very inquisitive, aren't they? They always looking.
Well, we have neighbors who have chickens.
Did I look like a chicken? I hope not.
It's like a gaggle of women. Okay, I'm a woman, so I can say this, right? It's like a bunch of women getting together, having lunch with 2 or 3 drinks.
Oh.
And they're hysterical. And it's a soap opera. Every day she calls up with a new drama, a new crisis with the chickens. And hers don't lay every day. So if your dad gets them to lay every day, he's really lucky.
Oh, well, they're anxiety. They're uptight. That's why when they're uptight, I guess they don't lay.
He threatens them, saying, if you don't lay them, we will get rid of you.
Oh,
I think
really?
they know. Yeah.
Christina, your film.
My film.
Give us a synopsis.
My film follows the journey of 2 communities and 3 folk artists as they discover global commerce. And it's an 18-month journey to the Santa Fe International Folk Art Market, but most of it's about that journey, not about the market. So yes, and it's filled with a lot of crisis, a lot of catastrophes, challenges, and we follow them literally as they travel.
That is amazing. The inspiration for it came from where?
I met Jane Parsons, who became my co-producer in Zimbabwe, at the Folk Art Market, and she was an intern there. Somehow we just kind of connected, and within a few days of meeting each other, we had a treatment for this film. And I had no desire to do anything in Africa. Africa was not, I'd rather go to Italy, you know?
Yeah.
I ended up in Africa, and she's a crafts impresario in Zimbabwe. She knows every single tribe, every single artist. And I said to her, we can do this if you find communities that, one, will let us come in and film for 2 years, just carte blanche, and 2 communities that haven't applied to the folk art market and are interested in applying to the folk art market, and we'll just follow them through the entire process from the very beginning of deciding to the end when they would hopefully go to the folk art market. We had no guarantee of that, so it was really a total cinema verite, and we hope this turns out well. Luckily it did. It didn't turn out the way we wanted it to turn out. It probably turned out better because it's more dramatic. And they did, we will say they did get into the market. I don't think that's ruining the ending. And it was a soap opera.
So you actually went to Zimbabwe yourself?
I spent, over the course of the 18 months, I spent 3 months there. And Jane and my cinematographer there lived there. And they would go out. We did 12 shoots over that time based on market milestones when they would be doing something special in relation to applying to the market or preparing for the market or coming to market. They went out to both villages and did a lot of filming. And I was there at the crucial milestones to direct. But most of the time I directed over email.
Set us up for the trailer we're going to see.
I think the trailer
I think
catches
it's
it
2
all.
Catches
It catches it all.
The essence of what was going on.
The drama.
And the drama. Okay, let's take a look. Well, the chickens made it into the...
ngoba lapha nazama ukuthi siphile koma senado wasenda siphile ngiphile ukungahamba sikusongangenza engaphili.
I come in a family of 3 girls and we are double orphans. Only talk about masamba kwa America.
All participants are responsible for arranging and paying for visas and passport and related expenses.
But do you know anything about fair trade?
What are results? They said it is not good to travel a man and a lady.
This should have been spelled out on in our first meeting.
You maybe cannot come up with a number of baskets that you were looking for. She doesn't meet the qualifications.
Fascinating trailer for the movie we're talking about. You're screening 9:30 today, immediately following the show at the Prescott Film Festival. And if you want to know more particulars, please log on to prescottfilmfestival.com and 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Thousands apply for the market. Not everyone's chosen, correct? Is that the way it works?
400 groups.
Oh, not thousands, okay.
Usually groups or individual artists. And then about 150 are chosen, and then not all can actually make it. And the film touches on some of those reasons why they don't make it.
And the challenge is to get there very quickly. We're out of time, but I do want to know if you can give that to us in 10 seconds. Living conditions.
In Zimbabwe?
Yes.
Rough.
Oh. That tells us. Christina, thank you so much for being with us. Prescott Film Festival, of course, she is here for the film festival, and you can see her film 9:30 immediately following the show.
And tomorrow at 9:30 as well.
Yes, when we return, more on the Morning Scramble. You stay right there. Right here on the Morning Scramble, thank you so much for being with us. We're going to be talking about back to school, and it's probably really Welcome to the Future or Back to the Future, the movie very aptly named. I think we all remember that movie. We're going to talk about technology in the school setting, and are we camera ready? And I think we say camera ready because when we talk technology, Brooke, we're talking everything from computers to calculators to phones to so many things that we use in the school setting today. But now I understand some schools schools, I don't know how ASU, the cell phone situation in high school, I know they're really monitoring very closely.
In high schools, you would get it taken away for like I was terrible at that, and I would have my phone taken away for like a week by the school. I broke a lot of rules in high school.
Now that means you couldn't have it for a week at school, or you couldn't have it a week period.
Well, you're not supposed to have phones at all.
But
in
I mean,
high school.
if it was taken away from you.
Both. Sometimes
really?
the school would keep it for an extended period of time.
Bet Dad and Mom like that a little bit.
Would as well.
We're going to be talking about, are you ready for back to school? Welcome to the future. Manish Robin is here, and author of Camera Ready. Let's talk about back to school. It is that time. And honey, let's talk about getting ready for school. It takes a little bit more thought these days than it did when you and I were going to school.
That is the truth, and really the mantra this year is getting students to apply what they learn, to collaborate, and to make something. And I've got some gadgets that are going to help them learn and have fun at the same time. So I want to start out with a video game. I don't know if you know Little Big Planet, but I promise you every kid watching does know Little Big Planet. And there's a new mobile version that's coming on September 23rd for the PlayStation Vita with a new story, new characters, and the ability to create your own game using the same tools the game designers use, which is great. So with the PS Vita, 3G, and Wi-Fi, kids can share what they make with other players. So this is really perfect for kids who want to be architects, they want to be software designers, because they're learning as they play.
Brooke, are you familiar with that game?
I've never heard of it, but those types of games I think are geared towards younger children, I feel. So my generation.
So what are we talking grade level here then? Brooke makes a very good point.
We're talking, from 7-year-olds on up. I mean, I've had adults tell me that they love the game too. So it's really, I think, for everyone. But what we're learning, and maybe Brooke knows this too, is that science, tech, engineering, those are where the jobs of the future are. And what we really want to do is get students interacting with these concepts. And another way to do that is with the TI Inspire CX graphing handheld from Texas Instruments. It's a fancy way of saying an amazing calculator that comes with their student software. So you can take this little thing to class and then transfer your work to your computer at home and have virtually the same experience. And educators recommend this one, that kids start in middle school with this one, but it can take them all the way through college because it comes with free software updates for life. And this is a calculator that is allowed on those big tests like the ACTs and the SATs.
Amazing. It looks like a lot more work though than writing it down, copying it, and turning it into the teacher.
I would much rather use that
Really?
than having to write it down. I have the old TI-84 that isn't as spiffy as that one, but I just took a college algebra class, and you still have to type in a lot, and you actually have to learn how to apply it to that. So you're still learning a lot, but it's a lot quicker.
So this is an upgrade from all that. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Oh, it's taking it to the next level. And I heard, you all were talking about taking smartphones and tablets onto campus and into class. And, now that we're expected to do so much with so much information and data, you run into a few sort of new problems. One is that some of these devices don't have enough storage. So we found a solution for that. And that's the G Connect by G technology. This is a portable wireless storage so students can take a ton of video and ebooks with them on their smartphones and tablets. And it also has Wi-Fi, so if there's no hotspot, students can work together on projects and share notes up to 5 devices. So it's really great for study groups, and you have so much more space, 500 gigabytes.
I am just now learning how to use my iPad, so you know where I am on this. Where can they go for more information, sweetheart?
You can go to dailylounge.com for more info on all of these.
Thank you for talking to us.
Oh, and I should mention tonight we're having a chat at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time about how technology is changing the classroom. So we'd love if people joined us too.
Thanks for the information.
Thank you.
When we come back, closing thoughts right here on the Morning Scramble. We are back right here on the Morning Scramble. Thank you so much for being our audience. We thank you every day, and we also thank our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we wouldn't exist, and without our crew, we would not exist. And Brooke knows that firsthand because she's been a part of our crew for 2 months. tomorrow, right here on the Morning Scramble. Pick the perfect pet, and Dr. David Hancock will be here talking about health. And health does matter. It matters to everyone. In fact, I was going to ask Brooke when we opened the show about health, young people and young people her age. Do you think much about health as much as people our age?
I think we do. I mean, some people just eat the junk food all the time and don't really care, but I go to the gym all the time. I watch what I eat. Like, I was not going to gain the freshman 15 when I went to school.
Oh,
so.
very good. Brooke, thank you so much, sweetheart, and lots of luck.
Thank you.
Be with us tomorrow.